The introduction from Recognition of Me is Liberation by Ruchiradama Quandra Sukhapur Raninatamba. She says, we recognize the Supreme Divine One. We meditate on the Divine Eternal One. May Da, the eternal primal source of all and all, awaken perfect knowledge and perfect contemplation in the humble servants of his own form. May realization of the divine eternal state of reality itself be awakened by the transcendental spiritual presence, spiritual blessing power of Da. May all regain direct awareness of the state of prior unity, oneness, and intrinsic egolessness in communion with the divine and perfect being, who is the source condition of all and all. Through this awakening, may the illusions of separate self all fall away in his supreme and unending divine grace. His divine and perfect grace grants the capacity for total surrender at his supreme and holy feet, thus opening the being to the perfect divine transmission of Da, the Rishira avatar. May all invoke the power of the Divine Eternal One, Da. The name Da is indestructible, absolute. Da is imperishable reality. Whoever knows this reality, revealed in devotional recognition of his divine presence, Paramasaptana Adida Samraj, will be awakened by his grace. Da, Da, Da. The entire reality way of Adidam is founded on devotional recognition of the divine and eternal one, Avatar Adida Samraj. And the devotional response returning to his divine presence occurs entirely on that basis. Devotional recognition response to Avatar Adida Samraj is the only means for most perfect divine self-realization. As Avatar Adida reveals, the basis for practice in Adidam is unique because it has nothing to do with the body, mind, self. The practice of Adidam is simply devotional recognition and most ultimately realization of Bhagavan Adida's divine avataric person, his divine transcendental spiritual presence, and his self-evidently divine state. Adida says, the radical reality of Adidam Rishiradam is entirely a process that manifests on the basis of whole bodily devotional recognition response to me. That is the event. That is the root of the way that I reveal and give. Therefore, that is the basis on which the only by me revealed and given reality way unfolds and at last demonstrates divine translation. The entire way revealed and given by me is the way of whole bodily responsive devotional recognition of me and participation in devotional and, in due course, transcendental spiritual communion with me. That is it entirely. The essence of Adidam Rishiradam can be stated as simply as that. The essence of Adidam Rishiradam is as simple as that. The implications of that simple essence are vast, requiring vast and elaborate description, but on the other hand, the essence of the way I reveal and give can be stated in the simplest terms. This is the way I reveal and give. Devotionally recognize me. Be whole bodily responsively turned to me. Participate in me searchlessly. That is divine translation, so it will demonstrate itself. To whole bodily responsively devotionally recognize me is to participate in that which transcends space and time. That is the only light that is. That is the divine conscious light, the bright, the causal divine itself. Beyond and prior to conditionally, intrinsically egoless, self-existing and self-radiant, indivisible, without difference. Quandra Sukhapur continues. Once there is recognition of Bhagavan Adidar as the supreme person of reality itself, whose divinity is pure and absolute, then one cannot help but feel moved to turn the total body-mind to him in devotional worship and surrender. One begins to live in fullest obedience to Avatar Adidar's divine avataric word of instruction as the intrinsic means for the utter freedom of reality itself to be realized. In devotional recognition of Bhagavan Adidar as reality itself, this freedom is self-evident, and the devotional response to his divine presence is awakened by his divine avataric grace. Indeed, the entire process of the ego-transcending practice of Adidam unfolds on the basis of Bhagavan Adidar's divine avataric grace. There is no practice in Adidam separate from devotional recognition response to Avatar Adidar. It is always in the space of one's devotional relationship to him that one is heart moved to turn to him. The one who has brought the divine conscious light of reality itself into the world. This recognition inevitably changes one's life. One is moved to turn to Bhagavan Adidar in every moment, such that the totality of one's life becomes a gesture of profound turning to the divine avataric master, who gives everything to his devotees for the sake of most perfect divine self-revelation, self-realization. Adidar says, devotion to me, I am here, that changes everything. Quandra Sukhapur says, as Bhagavan Adidar communicates in many ways, the practice of Adidam is never something you do yourself. It is a participatory process of worship and whole bodily turning to the Divine One, revealed in human form as Avatar Adidar Samraj. In that responsive turning to his divine presence, the fullness of his divine state becomes more and more profoundly magnified, and the pure attractiveness of his person draws one beyond separate self. A divine existence rather than ego existence becomes the guiding impulse of one's life, and the distinction between ego and egolessness becomes completely apparent. Adidar continues to say, in the only by me revealed and given radical reality way of Adidam Ruchiradama, devotional recognition of me is the first or principal conversion. Devotional recognition of me is the recognition of egolessness, my own intrinsic egolessness. When there is devotional recognition of me and whole bodily devotional response to me, my devotee thus and thereby coincides with my own intrinsically egoless self-nature, self-condition, and self-state, which is the divine self-nature, self-condition, and self-state of reality itself. Therefore, by means of whole bodily devotion to me, There is participation in the intrinsic egolessness of reality itself. The entire process of the radical reality way of Adidam Ruchiradama from the beginning is an unfolding magnification of that seed, that conversion at the root. That seed conversion is the conversion to intrinsic egolessness. That seed conversion is devotional recognition of my state, and falling into my state through devotional recognition response to me. Quandra's Sukhapur continues. The entire reality way of Adidam is devotional recognition of the divine avataric master, Paramal Saptana Adidar Samraj. There is no other means. To devotionally recognize Avatar Adidar is to sight reality itself, and to be moved to realize him as that. The devotional relationship to Bhagavan Adidar Samraj is the unique gift of ecstasy that the eternal divine avataric master is always offering to every living being. Adidar says, the whole bodily recognition responsive devotional relationship to me is the key to the awakening and transformation of humankind, of all apparent individuals, and of the all and all of everyone. Recognition of me is all. Recognition of me is liberation. Recognition of me demonstrates all of devotion, renunciation, and realization. Devotional recognition of me is the way of me. Da.